what it is, y'all. Y'all already know what it is, man. This is your boy Sean G, First Lady Candy Ice, Roddy V, and this is another week of the Sean G podcast show, man. I want to thank everybody out there who been coming through, checking us out, man. And the listeners are definitely growing, and so I'm really excited about that, man. It's been a good look, man. So I really want to thank y'all for tuning in, for sharing, for just coming to the pages and coming to the YouTube page, coming to the Facebook page. Now, I do want to say, if you listening to the show and you want to listen to the show without having, like, if because sometimes you got to think about it, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, all of these platforms and social medias are different. So if you want to browse while you listening to the show, the best application to do that is on your SoundCloud. Because if you on SoundCloud listening to the show, you could actually do whatever you want to do. You could text message. You could send, you could go on Facebook. You could go anywhere on the web when you listening to us on SoundCloud. So that's the way to do that. My little man hit me. He was like, yo, son, put it on SoundCloud because, you could browse everywhere. And ever since I did that, I've been getting a lot of SoundCloud views. And it's really doing this thing over there. So if you want to browse while you listening to the show and you having problems because Facebook don't allow you to do that, YouTube don't allow you to do that, SoundCloud is the place to listen to us while you browsing. All right, so do it like that, and everything will be good. As far as YouTube, y'all already know we over there. As far as Facebook, at Sean G Podcast Show, check us out over there. And we definitely doing it, and it's a good look. So you know what I mean. We about ready to get into it. Today's topic is black man, the hustler versus the 9-to-5er. I was on this fishing trip and shit like that, and my man hit me up. Matter of fact, we was on our way back after having a long fishing trip, and we talking and shit. I don't even know how the topic came up, but he was just like saying some shit about dudes around the way, selling their things and selling their drugs or doing this, that, and the third. And I was kind of shocked just listening to him, and I asked him a question like, "Yo, man, cats is still doing that? Ain't nobody." I had to chime in like, ain't no such thing as no big timers no more and shit like that in certain hoods like that. And we kind of got back and forth. He was like, nah, son, you don't know what's going on out there. You don't know, and because he looking at me like a dude that's, what I'm saying, that really don't know. But in all honesty, I do know. But then again, I had to really ask myself the question like, well, I did know. And maybe shit is different now. You know what I mean? So do the black man have to hustle? Is there big time hustlers anymore? Or is it something where, a brother rather go out there, get a 9-to-5, do his thing, get a skill, go to school, have a career? Is the risk worth the reward in the hustle world? And so that's what today's topic is about. We're going to talk about that a little bit right there. And Roddy V, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember back in the days in the 90s and shit like that, you had like real big timers and shit. Even in the 80s, you had the dudes like your Nicky Bonses and, your Alpos and your Fat Cats and all these big names of dudes that was doing their thing back in the day. But, coming up in the 90s and shit like that, when Giuliani came out here, he really put a dent and shut down all that, big time drug dealers, big time hustling shit. All that shit got put to a smash. So, I always ask the question like, yo, son, is it worth it? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, especially in like right now where we at with all of the tools that we got, all of the access to all this information that we got, is it even worth it putting yourself in that mix? Or am I a little bit out of the loop where I don't really know what's going on and all that shit still exists out here, right? V, what you think about that?
I mean, in regards to this big time, I mean, and I can only speak from my point of view as a person that dabbled in and suffered the consequences of it.
No doubt.
It's never worth it. I mean, when you're in a moment, and I mean you're in the middle of it and you're in the midst of it, it may seem like that, but I mean the big scheme of things, it's never worth that. It's never ever worth it. I mean, me myself personally, I buried too many friends, too many comrades, went to too many
Right.
funerals, visited too many people in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, I guarantee you everything right now they say is definitely not worth it. You know, there's no more big time, man. You know what I mean? I count, and I can honestly count on one. In all honesty, dude, I only know one person, and this is dead ass. I only know one person that ever really did it with a serious extent and never spent a day in jail. I only know one person.
I mean,
And I'm
it's
pretty sure.
yeah. Nah. I could dig it, man. I'm just, again, like I'm really, and that's the reason why I brought this whole topic up, because I'm like really sitting there and I'm listening to Duke, and I'm like, it feel good for a nigga to be like, yo, son, you don't know. I'm like, yeah, nigga, I don't know. I'm glad you say I don't know. Cause nigga, only if you knew. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, but I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? I could understand, somebody saying something like that. Cause in my mind, I'm like, yo, son, I remember the 90s. I remember these times coming up as a little kid and shit like that, where you actually see, your modern day Robin Hoods or whatever, your big timers, and they was out there. And especially New York City, growing up in Brooklyn and shit like that, coming from, Brownsville, East New York, some of the real infamous thorough parts of the borough where dudes is really, really doing that like that. And you know what I'm saying, as a shorty coming through, you saw all that. And I'm like, yo, there was a certain time when you came up as a teenager, you seen certain situations going down when Giuliani put the whole scene on smash. I'm talking about the whole hood was just swarming. Nobody could do nothing. And then all that shit just disappeared. You know what I mean? Which to me, honestly, was for the better, because a lot of the crazy shit stopped. A lot of the senseless killing stopped. A lot of the the drugs and shit that was selling in the hood stopped. And people, had to look for better means. And you see some of the dudes that was back then doing their thing. Now they working. You know what I'm saying? Now they working for transit, and they working for all these different type of government agencies doing their thing, and and bettering themselves as a person, as opposed to being stuck back there right there. You know what I mean? So, but when Duke was talking to me, he was like adamant about it, like, yo, nah, so you don't know. And I'm like, yo, nigga, I don't know. I mean, tell me. Cause but maybe am I bugging, or this shit still exists out there? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean, Roddy V? Do this shit still exist? And I'm just a little bit out of the loop and slow to what's hip these days.
It still exists to an extent. You know what I mean? I keep my nose to the streets. It still exists to an extent, but it's not in abundance like it was when we were growing up. I can tell you that much.
Word.
I can tell you that much. And the time is limited for the dudes that are doing it. And
Exactly.
I can tell you that much as well.
Yeah.
The end game in this shit, son, it's...
It got to be crazy, son. Because, I mean, come on, Roddy V. You talking about technology, cameras everywhere. You know what I mean? The snitch game is on an all-time high. That shit is like finesse to the fullest now. You know what I mean? It ain't like back then. You think about abandoned buildings and shit like that where, niggas was really, it was like that. Yeah, you be like, yo, what be your reason and shit? You look around and you like, nigga, this is the reason. You know what I mean? But now, neighborhoods are getting cleaned up. You know what I mean? Regentrification is taking place in a lot of places. They calling Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Stuyvesant Heights now. You know what I mean? You ain't going through there seeing the same shit no more. You know what I mean? And not to keep it on a local level, but I'm just talking from a perspective of where I'm coming from. But I could imagine different places in the United States. I'm sure a lot of that is going on too. Because again, technology is at an all-time high. You know what I mean? Cameras, cell phones, smartphones. It got to be a lot harder. And my thing is, what would drive a man? What are men driven by these days? You know what I'm saying? Because back in the day, the women, they wanted them a baller. You know what I mean? I want me a drug dealer or some shit like that. I want somebody who can get me, get money or whatever. Candy Ice, I'm going to throw this at you. what type of, you know what I mean, what type of information or what type of woman would actually, you know what I mean, what would be the push now for a dude to want to get into that lifestyle, knowing that the risk is way higher than the reward?
Well, there unfortunately are a lot of women that are straight up attracted, and that's what they're looking for, that lifestyle. I have to say, a drug dealer's life is the best life ever. Now, it's
Word.
short lived, but yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
short lived. I'm not saying I personally don't date drug dealers. I have,
Right.
but it is the best life because you can do whatever you want. And, you know, for the woman who does probably or usually work a job, it's still just one of those fairy tale things where whenever she wants to go get breakfast, she can do that. If she want to go sit at the floor at the basketball game, she can do that. When she want a purse, she can get that because he doesn't have a set schedule. But at the same time, he's working all the time, if that makes any sense.
Right.
There are a lot of women who are attracted to that because of the fact that they can get the things they want with little work for it, if that makes any sense. Meaning, there's a whole sector of women who are looking for that life. They're still turned on by being a hustler's wife. You know, there's a lot that comes with it. There's a lot of notoriety in the hood for going with a big time hustler, for being wifey. There's a lot that goes with it. So there's a whole bunch of women, typically I would say between ages of 18 and 26, 27, until they wise up and they lost somebody in jail or they lost somebody to death. But there's a lot of women that chase that because, again, you know, it's not that it's a good thing, but the life is it's a fun life. It's a
Mm.
fun life. Now, for the woman, I mean, because of the perks that I just mentioned. And like I said, she getting extra perks, you know, if it's the same type of woman who's attracted to this man, she's still in the bars in the hood. She's still in the hood. And when you are with a drug dealer in the hood, it gives you a different sense of notoriety, little extra perks when you go places because you deal with that person. Also brings a lot of hate, but it brings a lot of fame to your name as well. Because you probably got 3, 4, 5 women, but if you're the one, then you still got the title of being the one.
Mm.
I think I think it's unfortunate because women put themselves in bad positions. A, by knowing that there are other women in the picture. B, by knowing that you're dealing with somebody who can't give you a long-term future. They can't really offer you stability. And by putting yourself and your children at risk, if that person's at your house, you don't know if the feds are going to run up in your home. And then your daughter or son has to see that and have that as their memory. It's a very attractive life to be a drug dealer, but just knowing what the long-term ramifications are, I just find that it's not worth it. I can understand why people might take that option, but it's just not the long-term choice at all. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of women that are still looking for that life. All the girls that you see, like, rocking what they consider to be the latest trend and, 22 with no real job with Louis bags and all of that. You can't afford that. I don't want to see you in a Louis bag and a rental. You don't own a home. I don't think you should have, no, real, that's real. I don't think you should have Louboutins if you don't, like, if your credit score is not 700 or higher. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's all about priorities. If you're looking for that fast, right away life, who wouldn't want to be with a drug dealer? And drug dealers love good girls. They live for a good girl. They live for a girl to go to work every day that they feel like every other dude hasn't had. So it's easy to nag one when you have a couple things. Snag one when you have a couple things going for yourself because he's attracted to the good in you.
Right.
Because most drug dealers don't say this is going to be their long-term plan. Any hustler you talk to, I'm going to do this till I hit this money, and then I'm going to be out, but it just doesn't ever happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
because it's
like
always a quick
else.
go-to.
Exactly. But it's just like anything else. Like, you 20 years old, I just want to make $40,000 a year. You 25, I want to make 50. I want to make 60. Whenever you get there, your lifestyle starts to meet your income. And so you always need more.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it sounds like a good plan, but it just doesn't work out that way.
well, Candy Ice, you said the good girl, right? So, you know what I mean? Who fault is that right there in raising a good girl? What is the good girl? Because I always looked at it like the good girl. There's a lot of good girls. There's a lot of good girls that actually have an opportunity. They in the innocent stage. Is, you know what I mean? Is it something where that dude just, you know what I mean? It's something that they saw from home that, you know what I mean, that that made them prime target for that type of man, or is that something that the man is just, you know, that type of dude is looking for that kind of girl, and he's able to will her in and basically, you know what I mean, mess her life up. You know what I mean? Who?
He's absolutely looking for that type of girl, not to mess her life up, but because when you the man, whatever, it doesn't. Here's the beautiful thing about America: it doesn't matter if you're in New York City, if you're in LA, if you're in Chicago, or if you're in a little city like where I'm from. Every city is the same, just bigger or little.
That's right.
Every city is always the same. So if you're the man somewhere, you
right.
got 25 hood rats a night throwing it at you. I mean, throwing it at you. They'll do anything for $1, hoping they could be that one.
Right.
So when you have that good girl that walks past and don't really even know who you are because she's not about that life, that's attractive because she's not a groupie. She's not worried about what you can offer her because she has her own. You can supplement.
Right.
And she's not worried about your name in the hood because the hood is not where she's trying to make a name. So that's attractive to a drug dealer. Because A, her intentions are not what everybody else's are, and B, she doesn't seem to need you, and more likely she probably doesn't have 5 kids and 100 other things that all the girls that are so thirsty do have. So I can understand why they're attracted to that because, again, most people in the game don't start off at 20 and be like, yeah, I'm going to be a 40-year-old drug dealer. They think they're going to do it for a while, get their money up. They always got a dream plan, not to sound smart, but it's true. Oh, because I'm going to go to school one day. I'm going to open my own shop. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to flip these houses. I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy me a dump truck. They always have a plan. And so the good girl might be able to help them put it in motion. Because she probably has good credit. She probably doesn't have any felonies. She probably can travel. She can do things that he may be restricted on because of things that have already happened to him because of the lifestyle that he chose. For her, it's something different. It's something she never thought she would do, but it's exciting because everybody else, all the good guys, got to go to work from 9 to 5, and the day she's off, she can't just wake up and have breakfast. So the good guy got to save a couple checks to be able to buy her that bag, where this one can just bring it for nothing or put groceries in her refrigerator or meet her in the mall and just say, get what you want.
So what?
Man can't just do that.
No doubt, and it goes right back to that, Roddy V. What's the motivation? You know what I'm saying? Because again, I always stress the fact that, you know, we talked about this on a previous show, and I always got to bring up certain things that we done been past already, but now we at a different point of talking about something direct, which is this topic right now. What motivates? You know what I'm saying? A cat today in 2017. Like I said, I know what motivated a nigga back in the day when shit was just toe up. You know what I mean? And even then, it ain't really no excuse. And I can't even say all, you know what I mean, or most. I would have to say some, you know what I mean, rather hustle than do a 9 to 5. What's the motivation today? Is it women? Is it the lifestyle? Is it, you know what I mean? Or is it there's something there that a brother be like, yo, man, or is there an excuse there that say, yo, I can't do it any other way. So this is the only thing I do know. And in fact, you're really not really doing it, you know what I mean, on a high level. So what is the motivation there, Roddy V?
The motivation nowadays, I mean, based on the interaction that I have with some of these cats out here, it's the front.
The fun? Did you say that? You said the fun? The fun or the front?
No, the front.
The front. Okay.
Yeah, they want to appear to be living that lifestyle.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they have no end game. These when you ask these dudes what they doing it for, they talking about trap for life.
Trap for life?
Yeah, they have no end game. The days of dudes talk about, yo, you know what I mean, I got an end game to this, so I don't plan on doing it for the rest of my life. That shit died out with our generation. This generation have no end game. They just doing this shit for the lifestyle. They're influenced by everybody. They're influenced by what they saying on TV. You got stupid motherfuckers influencing more stupid motherfuckers. Excuse my language, but I mean, you got idiots influencing idiots.
Right. Yeah, because
the blind leading the blind.
Right. You know what I'm saying, Roddy? Because look, we it's 2017, and again, I gotta stress the fact, and it's just so much. It ain't no big timers no more. You know what I mean? Governments, police departments, agencies, they not trying to hear that shit. They way too smart. The snitch game is on a whole nother level. Infiltration is on a whole nother level. So you would think, yo, there's really no angles there. You would think in this time where everything is so, the tools and the information and all the things are available to a brother, that would look like, the majority is winning versus the minority. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, the majority out there working every day, or the majority out there using this knowledge and building a business and they winning in that way, or they using they intellect and they getting in certain fields, or they going back to school, getting a certain license or something to get into an area where, so the majority is doing that. It's a small group in a small pocket, and you say they doing it for the front, but is it more the front because they know they really ain't doing nothing, or is it the front like, yo, I'm willing to go all out because this is better than working for for minimum wage or something like that? So whatever happened.
And that's the mentality some of these young brothers out here got. They rather put their life on the line for uncertainty than to rather work a 9 to 5 and get that guaranteed check. But I mean, let me say this: a lot of these dudes, a lot of the youngsters that I see out here right now, you can't say, what's your motivation behind doing it, and then they tell you their motivation, because shit, I don't want to be out here in the studio. I don't want to want for nothing. You know what I mean? I want my and this Candy, how you were saying is they used to tell Lon the end game is, I ain't gonna do this for long. I'm gonna save some money with buy me a house.
Right.
Start a business.
That
the
time.
New line is I'm doing this for my kids. So my so my kids ain't gotta want for nothing. And I'm like, dog, if you don't get a job, your kids ain't gonna want for nothing, nigga, because you barely taking care of the fucking money you getting now.
Ah, man.
Yeah, but here's the problem about it, because what you're saying is exactly right. But once you are able to make a certain amount of money, especially if you actually get money, because one thing I can't stand, and I'm not condoning being a hustler, but I just feel like anything you're going to do, you need to be great at it. I hate
Absolutely.
Hello.
And can't even bail out. What kind of shit is that? So take them out of the equation. But let's say you even, a hustler that can bring in a stack a day, okay? Once
Right.
you can bring in a stack a day, and you have no education, and the only job you can get is for $10 an hour, which equates to $400 a week, which after taxes really equates to like $287 a week. It's really hard to make $287 a week legally when you know how quick you can make $1,000 a day tax-free, real cash. So that's the problem. It's like one thing about the game is it's addictive because you can't get equivalent money. And that part I do understand, especially after you go to jail, then you really not going to be able to come home and just get a good job. So
Right.
Once you started, it makes it harder to stop, because then it's like, man, I spent all this time at work, and then we know because we work, then all the BS you got to go through at work with the politics and this and that just for this little ass check. But I know right now I could go work for a few hours a day and be able to make so much more money. So it becomes a catch-22. Once they're in it, that's what makes it so hard for people to get out, because they can't make that kind of money on a regular job, especially because they typically have a limited skill set.
Yeah, well, a limited skill set too, Candy Ice, and that would be in the area of what? The lack of education, the lack of them not taking care that part of their life.
That's common sense.
Lack of education, because let's be real, even with education, I only have a bachelor's degree, but I have friends who have doctorates, master's degrees, and none of them came out of school making tons of money. So even with education, it's hard enough, but if you don't have any kind of degrees or trade or extreme ambition to be a go-getter and find another hustle, a legal hustle for yourself, then you're not going to just come off the bat making that money. So the people who don't have any of those things are certainly at a disadvantage in society, because they have to go work regular jobs. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's hard to do if you've ever even been introduced to real money. So if you've never seen real money, it's okay. Like, man, I'm getting $12. Yeah, this is all right. We're going to do all right this year. But if you've been seeing money, then $12 is a joke to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, think about it like this, right? Because everybody has to, no matter what it is that you do. So let's just say, you grew up, you were a young kid, and you of age now. And you see that your mom's is a principal, and you see that your dad is a architect or something like that, right? So you're gonna take from what you see. So you're going to be like, damn, mom doing her thing. Mom working this type of environment. So naturally, you're going to probably pick up on some of those things and, naturally go down those areas. And I always like to use the drug game. And that's why, I'm talking to you about it. I mean, we talking about this and I'm kind of bringing it in this sense. Again, Roddy V, I don't know what's going on. So in my mind, I'm saying to myself, well, damn, just like everything else, the rap game is watered down, it ain't like it used to be. Everything is watered down. Where's the teaching coming from to where a cat can even think he can take it to those levels and be successful, Roddy?
It's all in the mind, man. It's a mind game. It's a mind. Let me break it down to you like this. You say the average on a decent job. I'm gonna say a decent job, making $19 an hour.
Right.
Right. You make what? Say that was 19 to 40. That's what, $760 a week. That's about what, $3,000 a month.
Okay.
That's $3,000 a month. And that's the working man. That's a decent paying job at $19 an hour. We making $3,000 a month. Now take his cousin. Now his cousin on the block. His cousin is making a stack a day.
Right.
Right. So his cousin making a stack a day. Let's say his cousin got some sense. He said, yo, you know what, 5 racks a week is good for me. So he ain't even out there on the weekends.
Right.
He got some type of sense with him. So he good with that 5. He not pushing his luck. Now, mind you, let's say he just went and bought a Big 8 for that week. He paid $36 for that Big 8. He bagged up about $5,500. Once he get his 35 back, once he get his principal back, he's not working with much. So he's making that, you know what I mean? So you look at the profit, about $2,000 a week, $2,000 some change a week. Now, let's see the boys roll up on him. He lose a G-Pack. That profit just went down to 15. Of course, he went to the club and get fresh.
Some drinks.
Bottles, that's another rack.
Right, easy.
And
Food,
$500.
tricking.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, now he got now he's flossing with the 500. Now he running back to Bobby to go buy another big for the same amount. This nigga is flipping the same. He's fronting with the same $2,500 every week. Nigga, go get a job.
With the hell of a risk. You got the.
Yeah, you
right.
Get what I'm saying? He's putting his life on the line, and let's say, okay, he make the 25 or 45. He make the $2,500 profit every week. That give him $5,000 a month. You making $2,000 more than what the working man making, and you ain't even seeing that because $2,000, probably about $3,800 of that shit is spent in club, on clothes, tricking on broads, smoking bud, if that's your thing. You get what I'm saying?
Word.
Floss out for your boys, tricking on everybody else on me because you had a good week.
Well, the only thing I can say about that is I would agree, but the working man making $19 an hour certainly is not bringing home $3,000. If he's
I get what you said. I get
he only bringing home 18.
Yeah. That's before tax.
No,
but he's still profiting more than dude old boy in the corner.
You're absolutely right, and I would agree.
Because
with
he got his sense of mind. He ain't got to want nobody kicking in his door.
He got his peace of mind. You saying, Roddy V? Go ahead, Candy. Hold on, Roddy V. Go ahead, Candy.
it's two different types. Like the first, that goes back to what I was just talking about. Like I can't stand, not condoning hustling, but if you're gonna hustle, why can't you bail out? Why don't you have money? So that's the type of hustle you're talking about. The hustler that hustles just to live the life. Floss.
The front.
I don't even know if they call it flossing.
It ain't flossing, because flossing is a certain level. Roddy said it's the front. Like, nigga want, the front.
When you floss, you got
front.
the money to do that.
It's to live that life, because they still with everybody else, and nobody knows how much money they don't have in their pockets till they go to jail and can't bail out. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
How many people look like they had money until they went to jail and couldn't bail out, and bail was only like 25?
Let me tell you something.
That's some broke ass shit. But at first, there are some hustlers who put themselves at risk, but that get real money. And those are not the flashy hustlers. They still go to jail, but they're not the flashy hustlers. And they are not doing 25 to spend 1,000 on. No, they actually have enough money because they're probably dealing with bricks at this point, and it's nothing for them to come buy 22 of them. And it's not even her. You know what I'm saying? So they're still out there too.
Yeah.
They're definitely out there.
But they all
and they fall
into jail. So I'm gonna have to say it's still not worth the risk, because you're going to go to jail. You're gonna get robbed. You're gonna get.
You might get shot or get killed. Absolutely. Let me hold on, Roddy V. Let me just jump in here real quick, because I just want to bring up this, and you could definitely chime in on that, or if you would hold on to what you were about to say, and then come in with that as well. Isn't it the same thing? Like if you start with, because I always look at hustling, right, on a illegal level as the same thing as hustling on a legal level. And what I mean, right, and what I mean by that is you start with nothing, you get a product, or you create a service, and then you have to find clientele, which is your customer if it's a service, or same thing if it's a product, it's a customer, you need to buy your product. So it's the same, isn't it the same thing? And it takes the same amount of energy, the same amount of skill that you're using on the illegal side, that the same amount of skill and talent, which is the drive, the ambition to actually do it on the legal side. And so why isn't that much more attractive to the hustler who ain't making no money, that's doing it on the illegal side? Roddy V, go ahead and chime in on that. And also, if you can remember the point that you want to make, you can go ahead and go on with that as well.
Because when they out there, they're not looking at any other thing but their present situation. They're in this fish. They're in this fishbowl, and they see nothing else.
Right.
So their mind is not expanding to see outside the box. Say, I could take the same job and put this towards something positive and some way and make some money. It may be a slow start, but I know I'm gonna make something.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Half of the people in the hood is fucking crazy. And when I say that, I don't mean that mentally they mind. I'm mentally
niggas 3,000.
Expect different results. I was crazy, son. I was crazy from the age of 17 to damn near 29 because I kept doing the same shit, expecting a different result. Son, let me tell you, one time I went to Albany on the bus, got arrested in the bus station with 2 ounces of crack cocaine. I was on parole. The parole officer in Albany, New York, came to see me to violate me for the parole officer in New York City. He came and said, "Yo, man, I'm looking at your record." He said, "Yo, don't you think it's time for a change?" He's like, yo, whatever you're doing, you're not good at.
You suck at that shit, nigga. You's a fucking a fucking fraud, nigga. No fraud, nigga.
I'm sitting in the fucking lunchroom of Albany County Jail, and the parole officer don't know from a hole in the wall. Looked at my record and said, "Yo, you ain't ready for a change because you're not good at this." I was like, "You're absolutely right."
Did that shit stick with you though? Did it stick with you? Did you?
No, shit. Hell no, man.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm going to violate my rights because if they wouldn't violate my rights, I would have probably still been in jail.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being that they violated my rights, and I wasn't a local idiot. I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? I pressed the issue and shit. Man, I mean, I was guilty as all out there. I had crack cocaine in my motherfucking sneaker, dog. Come on. I know I knew I was done. But I didn't want to accept the time that they was giving me.
Right.
At the end of the day, the niggas gave me another 4 years on top of the fucking 3.5 years I had left on parole. Out of that, I did 2.5 years. Came home, chilled out, went and got a decent job. Shit. I ain't never had to find a job. I went and found a decent job. This time in Manhattan, promoted in 6 months for the fucking day have director. I had fucking 34 employees under my supervision, and I was in charge of a day having 2 residents.
Well, you had to pick up some management skills along the way to do that.
I always had management skills. That's why I was so easy for me to excel where I was.
Got you.
But I say that to say this: even though I had a good ass job, when I left Midtown and I got back home, I'm on the 3 train. Last stop is New Life Avenue.
East New York.
East New York. Jumping off the train, so I get to the bottom of the steps. Oh, shit, Robbie, what's going on, baby? Looking like a preacher. Oh, Robbie, what's going on?
Niggas beating you in your head. Yo, the hood is lit right now. Son, everybody want to see you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Your son is drinking out here, baby.
That's when the bullshit start. Niggas got you. Niggas start beating you all over your head. Go ahead, Rob. Yeah.
I let it pass for 4 months. For 4 months, now mind you, my baby mother took me to court for child support, which I had no problem paying. They was eating my check up. She was getting $1,400 a month. Eating my check up, dog. But I was making paper, son. I was making decent money at that job. I could have lived in New York on that salary.
Right.
That's how much money I was making at that job.
Right.
But then I came home. Every time I came home, and my house was the fucking hangout spot for every hustler in the fucking neighborhood.
Oh, damn.
My brother on the street. You know
Right,
what I mean? This
right.
dude's dropping a new Max big wheels on his stanky shit. You know what I mean? I'm still taking a train, but this is my younger brother.
Right. Got you.
You know, this is my little brother. It's me thinking I'm the little brother.
Yeah. He done flipped the tables on you. You like nigga, I should change your Pampers, nigga. You talking to me like I'm a bitch out here. I got you.
Here's the shit, son. These little niggas got the block on smash, but they ain't hustling that night. They everybody off the block by 11. So I brainstorm. I said, oh shit, y'all niggas ain't out here at night. Yo, son, let me get this. Yo, y'all niggas mind if I take this block at night?
So that's it
for me. I'm at work.
Okay.
I'm at work during the day.
So hold Roddy V, let me jump in there just so that we don't go too far in that. So that basically turned you. You was in a position where you was ready to make a better move for yourself, but because of you wasn't ready, it turned you back to what you came from. That, you know what I mean? You started at zero, going back to the bullshit that got you in a situation you was in already.
Like, that's because I wasn't mentally ready to push that shit aside. So you know what? I'm gonna wash my hands of this shit, man.
Right.
This shit ain't even worth it. You know what I mean?
Right.
This shit ain't worth my time. But let me tell you when I came to that realization. Is when I opened my basement door and the nigga blew 4 shots at me. That's when I came to that realization. I said, yo, this shit is crazy. I said, I got to get out of here.
That was a turning point.
That was my turning point. The grace of God, my boy came up. It's like that shit happened for a reason. And then God put this nigga my way. So yo, my license suspended, man. I don't want to drive back to Virginia like that. You think you could drive me back down there? Drove down Virginia, son. I ain't never go back to New York. So I went back to New York and resigned from my job and moved to Virginia.
I'm gonna ask Candy the same question. Candy, it takes the same skill, the same ability, the same hustle, drive, ambition. You know what I mean? The same thing to do what's illegal as a hustler to do what's legal as a hustler. why is it for some still so attractive in 2017?
Easy answer. Quick turnaround. For example, I know a lot of legal hustlers. You're a hustler, Sean.
Sure.
I that up to you all day.
Absolutely.
Every day.
Yes.
I'm a hustler all day. You put me anywhere on this earth, and I will find my way to $1. It's just
Sure.
how it is.
Yes.
But when you are a hustler, it's a quicker turnaround. It's still easier to go sell drugs because I can get a text tomorrow. I can get something fronted to me tomorrow. I don't have to invest in myself. I don't have to invest in my business, because when you try your own hustle, no matter how good you are, it's going to be upfront cost, and it's going to be a turnaround that's slow, and you're going to work really hard. So it sometimes people can lose the vision. Even me, I should be doing something for myself. But honestly, the upfront cost, the time on top of my regular job, it makes it tough for people. So why do they choose that? It's a quicker turnaround because they're going to have cash in hand in the next 3 to 4 days. Even if they got fronted something and they owe, after that it's profit. So within a few days, if they grind hard and they grind right, they can have cash in their hand. Whereas if you go and pick up your own side hustle, the money's going to come slow, and you usually got to put something out there to get into it. There's a million hustles that are legal. There's a million hustles that are legal. People do them every day. I could do resumes. I'm talking about me. I could do all types of stuff with media, communication, but I still got to go out, find the people. If you're really doing it on a professional level, you might even have to wait 30 days for your check if you're doing seminars, etc.
Right.
Or if I go
Working on commission.
A legal product, and,
Right.
like say you do one of the pyramid things, you still got to wait. Like it's a longer. You got to put money up, and then you have to wait longer. So for people that are looking for instant gratification, the turnaround time is much more attractive. You just go pick up something that you know. And typically, people who are selling drugs are not people who are always already in a great position. That person you talked about earlier, where their mom was an engineer and their dad was a doctor, they're not going to be selling drugs unless they're selling pills. And even if they are selling pills,
right.
Guess what's going to happen? Their mom and dad got that lawyer money that can eat that first case. That's going to scare them so much that they're not going to do it again.
They ain't going back.
What was right. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different dynamic. You could be I'm going to say this, leaders are leaders. So when you see that guy that's hustling, that's seeming to make everything happen, he could equate those same leadership skills into something else and be great as well.
Absolutely.
It's a harder route. It's a harder choice. Because I can tell you now that people who know how to hustle, they hustle, they grind all day long, but that turnaround can be discouraging, no matter how talented you are.
So when we come back, we're gonna get into that right there, because I think we touched on something right there, because it's harder. It takes the same amount of ability, skills, ambition, drive to sell drugs and do all of the other illegal shit, scamming, whatever it is that's out there that rules the day, that it takes to do legal hustling, your own business, all of these different things, creating, working for commission, whatever it is that's going to put you in a position where you could do some good things. It takes the same amount of hustle. But what Candy Ice is saying, there's a sense of fear there. And what I want to come back, when we come back, I want to find out, because it got to be some fear there, you know what I mean? Or it feels a lot better, like, because it's weird. It's some weird shit, you know what I mean? Because in one hand, you got the crazy risk, the stick-up kids, somebody blowing your fucking head off because of competition or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean, getting locked up. Those are 3 realistic enemies of the dude that's doing the hustle, right? So you don't fear that, you know what I mean, versus going out there having to fear doing something with the same drive and hustle that's legal, or learning from somebody else, or going to say, yo, man, I see you doing your thing. Can you teach me? I've been in a bad situation all my life. I got the ability. I just need somebody to guide me. You know what I mean? It's the fear of, because those realities are death, being locked up for a long time, getting hurt. And the other reality is just the fear of losing, you know what I mean? Not making it. Somebody saying, aha, I told you. Is that, because that's the only thing that can happen on this side, the legal side. But when we come back, we're going to touch on that. a little bit more. I'm gonna get into the single right here by this girl named Jasmine. The song is called I've Been Loving You. Y'all check it out.
I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. Now if that's not enough, what can I say, what can I do? 'Cause I've been loving you the best way I know how to. Matter of fact, you are the only one that I can truly say I gave my best. You woke me up and you showed me how to keep selflessly. I gave up my love, but now that I'm giving my best, it's not enough. No, no. I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. Now if that's not enough, what can I say? What can I do? 'Cause I've been loving you the best way I know how to. Now it's become draining. Tell me, what more do you need? I'm trying my best to keep you happy here with me. And my heart is working overtime just to prove to you that I'm all in. But it's still I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. Now if that's not enough, what can I say, what can I do? 'Cause I've been loving you the best way I know how to.
Who gon' blanket me from the cold? Inspire me with stories that's yet to be told. Give me something I can hold on to, 'cause the view from here, see it ain't what it used to be. Got me doing things I don't usually do. In the name of love, the closer we got, see the more that we lost touch. Test of time, show me what it's made of. It's like you brought some but forgot the rest, and that's the hard part for me to digest. I know this love thing is a process, and while relations with your father, they wasn't the best, I can't blame him for all of this mess. If that's a soft spot, I apologize in advance. Played your favorite song 'cause I know you let it dance, but I played myself thinking I could be your man, that I could be your man.
I've been loving you the best I can, the best that I can. I've been loving you the best I can, the best I can. Ooh, if that's not enough, what can I say? What can I say? What can I do? 'Cause I've been loving you the best way I know how to. The best way, the best way, the best I can. I know how to. I'll just do my best, the best I can to love you. And if that's not enough, what can I say? What can I say? What can I do? I've been loving you the best way I know how to. Loving you the best way I know how to. The best way I know how to. What more can I do? I'm doing the best I can to love you. Love you, love you,
Let's go!
Y'all ready for the uncut, the unfiltered, the raw? Put your headphones on and get ready for the Sean G Podcast Show.
Yeah. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the Sean G Podcast Show. Roddy V, First Lady Candy Ice, man. And we touching a real interesting topic. That's the hustle versus the 9 to 5, man. And right before we went to break and played the lovely lady Jasmine song, which, by the way, is a real nice song, man. How did y'all like that?
Yes, sir.
I like
Very
it.
nice. So kind of catchy.
Yeah, pretty nice song, man. Love that right there. The best I can. Shit, if it ain't enough. Word. But yo, right before the break, man, I just wanted to kind of understand, get some perspective on this right here. About the one thing being easier than the other. And I said that the consequences on the, you know, on the negative, well, not the negative, but the consequences on the illegal side is way more heavier. It's going to hurt a lot more people like yourself, your family, and just so many other things, setback, you know what I mean? Potential, you know, you might even lose your life versus, you know, the legal side where the only thing that can possibly happen is you just fail. You don't make that particular thing that you're trying to do, it don't work, or fear kicks in mentally, or, you know, naturally fear kicks in and tell you you're not good enough. You know, insecurity kicks in and pulls you away. Distractions take place, all those things. But, you know, at the end of the day, you really don't lose much, and you still have a fighting chance and another opportunity to actually get to the level where you want to be once you get over the fear. And that's the only thing. What is it about the, you know, again, I asked the same question, the attraction, the lure, and the side that's even way more detrimental to the individual? Anyone can answer this. Candy Ice, I throw that Candy Ice. Candy Ice, what you know, what is that?
Well, again, I'm gonna go back to the instant gratification. I mean, it's easy to say, you know, you can do anything or hustle anyway, but
right.
Sometimes you really do need money quick. So, for example, strippers, they hustle all day, but a lot of women start because they need that cash quick. So if your rent is due right now and you got kids to feed and somebody's starving and lights get cut off, you don't necessarily have time
great
to
point.
go through the process of finding a job, etc.
Great point.
You got to get money the best way you know how, whether that be, and I'm not condoning these things, so prostitution, stripping,
selling some pussy.
Whatever you're going to have to do, you're going to do
right.
what you got to do to get that money. So when it comes to hustling, you know, most people don't start it because they just always grew up and wanted to be a hustler. Some people do. But,
right.
you know, in reality, they needed the money. They got it. They saw how quick and easy it was to get. And then you have to think about the fact, too, that everybody always feels like they're a little bit ahead of the system. Everybody feels like they're smarter than the next. And a lot of times, people start out smarter than the next. But then just like everything else, once you get used to it, once you get in your zone, you get a little sloppy because you've been doing it for so long. So, you know, how many drug dealers you know that swear that they're not going to jail because the way they do things is different. They don't do this. They don't talk on this phone. They don't do that. Right.
Yeah.
But then what happens is over time, it changes. So that the lure of the game is real. Who would not like
Candy, I could dig that shit, right? Because, you know, like when you say that, that's instant, right? And that's more like a need, right? That's a need, you know what I mean? Yo, my motherfucking kids is starving. I'm about to lose my house, nigga. I'm going to go sell some pussy. And y'all excuse me, but this is how raw this shit is when that type of shit hit the fan. You know what I mean? I got to get this. I can't allow me to be out here in this cold. It's in the middle of the winter. It's about 2 degrees outside. Nigga, I won't even wish this shit on my worst enemy. And I understand that. That's a very, very, very great point and a crazy extreme. Roddy V, but then again, there's other instances where it's not the extreme that's there. It's just, you know what I mean? I'd rather fucking take my chances over here than deal with, you know, me building myself up and you know what I mean? Sowing the seed and watching the seed grow and just gradually growing, working a little 9 to 5, stacking my bread. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier, whatever the case may be, living, you know, below my means or whatever the case may be, and just growing and growing and growing and doing it like that. It's a lot less risk, Roddy V.
Yeah, it's a lot, but for some people, it ain't even for some people. People is the turnaround is not quick enough. Some people, they're afraid of failing.
Yes, Roddy V, I love what Candy Ice said, because what she just did was say, yo, nah, this is a different side, and I know a lot of the listeners out there, they're like, word, that's real. You know, what do you do in that sense? You're going to have to make something happen. You're going to have to do some extreme shit. Sell some shit, sell some other shit, you know. Do some shit to actually stop whatever pain that's about to happen to you. You're going to have to stop that. But then there's a lot of other cases out there where that's not the reality. You know what I mean? You dig what I'm saying, Roddy V? So in those cases when that ain't the reality, what is it why is that lure so strong, stronger than The reality is, nigga, you gonna get your head blown off, you gonna get bagged, all these realities that can happen to you. Why is that law so strong than sowing the seed and gradually growing and getting to the level you need to be in? When the reality ain't detrimental, like, nigga, you gonna die today or you gonna get kicked out in 0 degrees weather, ain't nobody out there to help you. Why is the law so stronger on the other side?
It's still the same thing. Instant gratification, guaranteed money.
Okay.
Get this pack. I know I can at least find 6 or 7 people that I know smoke, or that I know somebody that sniff coke or do whatever drugs they do. I know that I know somebody that can help me get this off. That's guaranteed, as opposed to you're looking for a job that you might get turned down before you actually get a yes. You know what I mean? It's that fear.
So the
fear of being told no.
So there you go, Rod. The fear of being told no. So here's what we have. Here's the setup right here. We have the fear of being told no on the legal side of hustling. The fear of being turned down. Somebody telling you no, you not making it. But you don't have the fear where the reality is, yo, it can be 20 times worse what can happen to you on that end. Or do a small time and be like, nigga, that shit ain't happening to me. Ain't nobody worrying about me. I could just do my little hustling here and ain't nobody think about me. I'm good.
Because that's the fear. They know that fear.
They understand that fear.
Yeah, they understand that fear. They know and expect that fear. Right? That's part of the game.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's part of what I'm trying to.
I got you.
I'm gonna get into it. That's part of it.
Yo, go deeper, Roddy.
They don't understand. They don't understand that unknown. It's like I could attribute that to me. I didn't go out there a lot of times for fear of being told no. You know what I mean? Even though I know I got the smarts to go do it. But I know that I can go get me a pound of some loud, and I know I can get that flip that way quicker. So by the time you finish telling me no, I done rinsed half that P already. So I think I'm gonna go flip this P real quick, and you can keep your no. I'll come back to you next week when I ain't so when the situation is even less more detrimental than it really ain't.
Right.
I'll go back to the situation when I think I'm pretty enough to handle your no. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Candy Ice, you want to chime in on that? Because he definitely, you know what I mean? I like what you said. I love what you said, how you flipped it. Now, Roddy V just flipped the shit again. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it is always a fear of failure that most of us hold somewhere.
Right.
At something.
Right.
So that's kind of what Roddy's touching on, and he's absolutely right. You know, if something is foreign to you, there's always a level of fear there for anything that you're gonna do. And the key thing that he said was jail is known. People think they could do, people think that if they get caught, they first charge, they're going to be able to.
They're getting out.
Get that for 18 months.
Right.
Exactly. That's something else. There's so many factors that go into it.
Right.
Like, all right, I don't have no priors. I go to work. I can tell the judge this, or I got a couple $. I'm gonna get the best lawyer in town, and more likely they're probably not going to do that much time on the first offense unless they got caught on something crazy or they're making an example. So.
Right.
The risk almost becomes worth the game because in reality, going out there and hustling for yourself is a whole different ball game, and it takes a really special person. It takes someone who's tenacious and someone who has the time to fail. Because again, sometimes you don't have that time to fail. Because I'm not condoning anything, and I can tell you now, just from my personal beliefs, I will never prostitute or strip, and nothing's wrong with it. This ain't for me.
Right.
But on the same note, I gotta say this: that if something happens tomorrow, I lost my job, I have to feed my daughter. It's not an option.
Right.
So therefore, you're gonna figure out something you could do quick to get money, whatever that is. Now, some people might choose to sell what they own. Oh, I own my car, flip that.
Right.
Some people are natural hustlers, and you'll find that with anything. If they end up with 2 or something, they're not going to keep the second one for backup. They're going to take the second one and sell it. Point blank, period. When they see an opportunity, they're going to take it. If they find an old iPhone, they're going to take that. They're going to figure out if it's locked. If not, they're going to sell it. You know people like that all
no
the
doubt.
time. People that walk and sell people. I have one girlfriend. She's older than me, But I loved her because whenever I would go to her house, I was like, oh, I like this. She'd be like, everything's for sale. And she was serious when she said that. Everything's for sale. Everything's always for sale, but it's the same principle. And, you know, the people who are going to get it, they're going to get it. But everybody doesn't have the discipline or the time to jump out there on their own or the know-how.
Now, Candy.
When you're trying to start something for yourself and make it a little different.
Now, Candy, you say the time, right? And when you say the time, in what area you don't have time? Like, kind of explain what you mean by the time you don't have when, you know what I mean?
Very
like
easy.
Yeah.
So, for example, I used to sell for It Works, body wraps, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's one of those you buy and you pay the low. I forget what I paid, $200. You know, me, I'm a natural hustler, okay?
No
so
doubt.
Within 3 months, I had like, 28 people underneath of my tree or something crazy like that.
Right.
But it took a lot of my time, and I wasn't making a lot of profit. Now I was bringing home a little bit of cash from wrap parties, but I still had to buy the profit. I still had to buy the product, and I might be lucky to come home with $200, $250. And after 3 months, I still wasn't making an extra $1,000 a month. And I was considered on a fast track. They thought I was doing excellent, and they kept trying to tell me on what could happen, and they were right about what could happen, but it would take a lot of my time. It took a little bit of my money to get it started. And that's one of those preset hustles that they show you how to do. So if you're going to go venture on your own, for example, let's say, I'm making this up, let's say you have a gift. Music's the perfect opportunity. How many singers, rappers, people do you know that are extra talented? Extra talented.
Yeah.
Right. But they don't have the right people to show them how to grind. So they in the studio making tracks that nobody ever hears. They still trying to sell a CD in the bar instead of going to the digital realm.
Yo, that shit is...
They might not even have the skill to set up a SoundCloud or a Facebook page to market themselves properly.
Yeah. That shit depressing.
In order for them to get their own buzz, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of time before they become profitable. And then they may be so ignorant to the game that if they do run into that big opportunity, it could be a 360 deal where they'll never see $1 anyway, but they don't even know better. So that's where the fear and the fear of failure and things come in, because it's easy to have a talent and know what you want to do. It's not always easy to know how to do it.
True. So, Roddy V, you telling me it's easy to go out there and do your thing, even if you don't even know it. That shit is easy because it takes no knowledge, no wisdom, no nothing in that. It's just, yo, I got this. You need it. Here it is. Give me some money. Nigga, I'm good to go.
Hell no, nigga. Don't do that to get your fucking head blown off doing that shit.
Exactly.
Well, I'm trying to, that's what, so, because, you know what I mean? Because remember, you said people fear, and I'm going to go with that Nas saying people fear what they don't understand.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
Hate
true.
what they can't conquer. Candy, you finish it out. I guess it's just the fear of your man. So, you know what I mean? Because the picture is like, nigga, look, man, I fear that. That's that. Y'all niggas is, you know, I heard one dude one time, and you know, he was like, yo, son, man, you know, this is exactly how you sound talking to me, Roddy V, right? And I'm looking at this nigga like, dude, you come from the suburbs, man. Like, yeah, like, come on, let's stop the bullshit, man. And this is for all you listeners out there, man. If you come from the suburb and you don't come from that real element where it's not even, dude, knock it the fuck off, man. So here the nigga coming at me, yo, son, word to my mother, son. You know, the nigga voice done changed and everything, man. I'm like, here this nigga go. Son, I don't know how you do that shit, son. I don't know how you be talking to them people like that, son. I can't go in there and talk to these white people like that, son. I don't even know how you do. I'm like, nigga, you not from the hood, man. You didn't grow up in no hood, dog. What's your excuse? Your moms and your pops is well off. Everybody I know in your family doing their thing, man. Who the fuck are you, man? Let's knock all this bullshit off, nigga. You do know how to do that. You just don't choose to do it. Roddy V. What you got to say to that, Roddy V? Because, you know, this notion of, you know, we said it's easier. You know what I mean? We said it's easier. Right, Roddy V. We said it's easier, but again, if it don't take no skill, and you know, it's easy to just get this and do that. Is it just the thing where you hustling is just as simple as getting the stuff, doing it to some, giving it to somebody or whatever the case may be, and you get paid and you cool with that? Because you just said, yo, nah, nigga, you don't know what you're doing. You might get yourself hurt. So again, we go back to that area of the reality of the consequences is so real.
Yeah. Yeah, let me clarify that.
Okay.
I don't want nobody to take this.
That's why we having a discussion, Roddy V. You know what I mean?
Think that they can go out there and do it like, yo, shit. He said, not to say anybody out there that's stupid, but y'all know y'all got some of y'all motherfuckers that that's stupid. So let me clarify myself. I say it's easy. When I say it's easy for me because I'm connected to that world. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing illegal that you couldn't give me that I couldn't sell tomorrow.
Right.
Now, if you just talk about that process, because my homeboy told me, he knows somebody that can get to some for this. Get to me for $500, but I know the shit is going for $800. I'm gonna get this for $500. Even though I have no real knowledge about this, I just got around people that do it. I have no real connection to it. So now when I go get this, there's a possibility where there ain't no possibility. I guarantee you're going to get beat. Whether it be your homeboy that you're dealing with, you're not going to see that $800. You're going to see a profit, but it's not going to be that $8.
No doubt.
So if you ain't got the knowledge, the know-how, the balls, and real talking this shit right here, man, if you ain't got the balls, you got to have some toughness to you, man. Because people going to try you. These are downfalls. So I'm trying to say, fellas, it's not that easy. Because you got, here's the thing. Before you get to that, before you get to the toughness, right now, you say you get this for $500. Okay, now, just think about that. If he gave it to you for $500, how many other motherfuckers you think he gave it to for $500? So now, if you're hanging around a certain area, and all y'all dudes is cool, and you're a non-hustler out of everybody. Everybody out there that you're hanging around is hustlers. You know what I mean? They got some type of street knowledge, and you just hanging around them because you was cool with this motherfucker in school. You hung around this block a couple of times, and they thought you was cool. So now you over there,
right?
Because they like your swag, but you ain't really got no real hustling skills. So you picking this shit up every day you go over there. You learning as you go.
Right.
So now when you go get your shit, so now when you get this, you have no real knowledge of this. So nobody, and trust me, they're not putting you on to game. The snakes do they crabs in the barrel. Yeah, you out there, you smiling, you cool with you, but they want to see you make your mistakes because they want to see you fall. They don't want you there.
So that's what I'm saying.
I mean?
No doubt, Roddy
Yeah.
V. And that right there, man, the crab in the barrel type of thing, the differences in them different areas, man. So, yo, here's what we're going to do, Roddy. We're going to get into another joint. You know what I mean? This is by your boy SG and his kid named Ben Franklin. It's called Nobody Like You. And, Candy Ice, you know what I mean? I know Candy there and stuff like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into that. And then when we come back, we're going to finish chopping it up. I know Candy got to, make moves or whatever the case may be. But we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to continue this discussion. And I think we might even do a part 2. You know what I mean? So, we're going to get into the Nobody Like You by Sean G and Ben Franklin. I want y'all to check it out.
Are you for real? You can't be serious. Are you out your mind? You gotta be delirious. Ain't nobody like you.
As I rose up in the morning with you on my mind, I just realized it was you all the time I've been thinking of. Yeah, you know I want you, baby. Been hearing so many things that really sound crazy, it amazes me. Right when I'm looking in your eyes, the element of surprise had me wondering if this girl can be mine. Let me define, I'm not blind. Catching you at a glance, peeping me from behind. But pardon me, fearless, never confronted with a plan. I'm taking the chances without answer. Losing it won't hurt at all. Get busy, game on the call. Signal some more just to show you how this cat score. All I wanna do is hug you, kiss you, and caress you. You're special. That's why God will always bless you. All I wanna do is be with you, and why not? I came to live my life with you.
For real, you can't be serious. Are you out your mind? You gotta be delirious. Ain't nobody like you.
Ain't nobody like you, you. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you, you. Ain't nobody like you. I've been wanting to hold you for such a long time. Visions of you, girl, just sticks on my mind. Want the real thing, boo, can't we combine? Have a candlelight dinner, sipping on wine. I feel this time, this shit love is genuine. It's fine, can never get caught wasting my time. I've been playing games and looking at you, hoping to catch you, looking at me too. You probably did a spell, I even did voodoo. See, whatever you did, it was meant for me and you. Let's get it on through, line up a rendezvous. Don't tell your friends for this, I don't need a crew. All I wanna do is hug you, kiss you, and caress you. You're special, that's why God will always bless you. All I wanna do is be with you, and why not? I came to live my life with you.
Baby, you can't be serious. Are you out your mind? You gotta be delirious. Ain't nobody like you.
Ain't nobody like you, you. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you, you. Ain't nobody like you. Look in your eyes, girl, you look so beautiful. The things you do for me, I do it for you. See you, the girl of my life, and dreams do come true. And when you call on me, I will come through. You know, I ain't gotta cheat on you, break your heart, beat on you. I just wanna be with you. You have the kids, I marry you. Look at where we came from, look at what we've been through. Give me kiss, baby. I will always be with you. I will always hold you. I will always pray for you. It's like I love you more than a doctor love the hospital. Girl, you're my best friend. Your love is like a weapon. Your love like a mystery. Just like the Father blessings. All I wanna do is hug you, kiss you, and caress you. You're special. That's why God will always bless you. All I wanna do is be with you, and why not? I came to live my life with you.
You can't be serious. Are you out your mind? You gotta be delirious. Ain't nobody like you. Nobody
Let's go!
Y'all ready for the uncut, the unfiltered, the raw? Put your headphones on and get ready for the Sean G Podcast Show.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy Sean G, Roddy V, and the First Lady Candy Ice, man. Candy Ice had to get up out of here and stuff like that, but she'll definitely be back next week. You know what I mean? We might even do a round 2 on this, man. The topic is the hustler, the black man, the hustler versus the 9-to-5er. And we've been touching on some real serious on this topic real seriously, man. You know what I mean? We cruising through this right now. You know what I mean? So, you know, Roddy V ended it off before we went into break. By the way, that joint I just heard was Sean G featuring Ben Franklin, a joint called Nobody Like You. You know what I mean? That's for the ladies and all that, because I know the ladies be listening, and you know, they tell, oh yeah, you got some music, let me hear what you got. All right, that shit whack. I'm gonna let you know that shit is whack. So I hope y'all enjoyed that right there, Roddy. That's for the ladies. I think they enjoy that right there. What you think, Roddy V?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a nice little pop to it. Sound like a little club fix. Get this little club popping on me.
Hell yeah.
Drinks in their head. They look like the home that they scurry to the floor to.
Word up. Like you could definitely get your dance on, and it's some cool shit. Like you said, a little drink in your hand, a little two-step, a little wave in the air.
Sure.
Word. And you know, a little romantic shit in the background. And you know, my boy singing his heart out. He's a real talented brother. So that's what it is, man. Like I said, we're going to be mixing it up like that, man. Y'all drop a comment below. Let me know what y'all think about the show. You know what I'm saying? About the topic and all that good stuff right there. But, you know, the differences, man, between the two realities, man, the consequences on the two realities. You know what I mean? My man Roddy V made it very clear. Yo, nigga, this ain't no easy thing to do. So don't get it misconstrued or get it all effed up and shit thinking that you can go out there and just do anything and it's all good. You know what I mean? Even though, you know, like Candy Ice said and like we saying, we don't condone it. We just trying to get to to the bottom of what's the lures in those areas. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so attractive on the left versus, you know, being on the right? And one thing was, yo, you can get it off easier, whatever over here, and it's something that you're used to, you're more comfortable with that. And then on the other side, it's a fear factor. You fear what you don't know. So, you know, you know, for some, I just want to leave that alone. I don't even want to learn that or get into that because that's a little difficult because I don't know. I don't understand that. But the outcome of that is going to actually benefit you in the long run. You know what I mean? So, you know, Roddy V said, yo, it's that crab barrel mentality, man. You know what I mean? Over there is grimy. You know, cats could, you know, put you in a situation, and if you don't know what you're doing, if you ain't got the heart to handle it and go through all that, you know what I mean? You might not want to get into that area, you know what I mean? Put yourself in that position because there's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be dudes that's going to be hating on you if you start getting some bread. Then it's going to be all kind of, you know, you got your snitches out there. You got your inform, you know, all these different little things, you know what I mean? Dudes trying to pull you down and all which way, trick you, beat you, whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know, man. You know, I just think, you know what I mean, a dude should try something. You know what I mean? If you got some heart to do that, then you definitely got the heart to flip it and take it and do something else on that other end. Because all it is it's a learning curve in anything you do. You know what I mean? If you don't know something, it's easy to just ask somebody who do. It's easy to surround yourself around people who do. You know what I mean? I remember back in the days, Roddy V, when you used to go to a job and shit like that. And probably still, they still ask this question, but it's been a while for me since I actually went in there and seen it. But, you know, that question you get, yeah, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? You know what I mean? And that question used to always be like the hardest question. It always stump you because you like, nigga, I'm trying to get to next month, nigga, with a check and you know, some income. You talking about some fucking 5 years, nigga. I hope I'm doing good. You know what I mean? But you know, as time went on and passed, you know what I mean, I come to realize, you know, the answer to that question. And if somebody was to ask me that question, I'll tell them like this, man. It take you 5 years to get to any point that you're trying to get to. I'm talking about whether, you know, especially on a legit level, you know, you can completely change your whole entire life in 5 years. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is you're going to have to completely hide yourself. You're going to have to disappear from everything that you know. You're going to have to go into, you know, you're going to have to stop doing, you're going to have to stop being around an environment that you used to. The environment that's getting you in all the trouble, the environment that's putting you in a position of you know, where you can't win or in that fair position. So you're going to actually have to filter yourself completely, 100%. And the answer to that question, it takes 5 years to reach some unbelievable heights. So, you know, and that's hard in itself right there. Because how do you tell a nigga, yo, son, you're gonna have to stop hanging out. You're gonna have to stop chilling with these broads. You're gonna have to stop chilling with your peoples, all that shit. If you're really serious about changing your life, you're gonna have to go cold turkey and dead all of this shit in order for you to make a drastic change, a successful, and become a greater man in your life. You saying you can't, Roddy V?
You can't tell no one that. That's some shit they have to come to on their own. They have to come to that conclusion on their own. Because you can drag a motherfucker. I mean,
you can lead them to the water.
You can't force them to drink.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You can give them Jews all day long, and trust me, you'll get your blessings in doing so. But at the same time, it's on them. They got to make that conscious decision. As I said, if they're not consciously ready to make that change, they're not going to make it, dude. You know how many times I've been in a state prison before? I said, yo, this shit, it took me damn near losing my life to figure, you know what, this shit, I can't do this shit right here. I'm worth a little bit more than this little fucking Trump change I'm getting here on this box right here.
No doubt. No doubt. And I mean, you know, look at it like this, Roddy. That doorbell got to ring in your mind. You know what I mean? Your head, that shit got to go off, man. Listen, I'm going nowhere fast out here. You know what I mean? You got to, you know that saying where you working, I burnt myself out. You know what I mean? That shit you're gonna have to burn yourself out one way or the other. You know what I mean? So yeah, it is real that you can't force a person. They're gonna have to come around themselves. But it is gonna be some of them youngsters out there that's gonna say, yo, man, I'm looking to somebody that can lead me there. And you know what? I'm ready to make that change right now. Can you help me, please? Because my life is fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now, see, when they ready to do that, then they're conscious that they made up in their mind. So it ain't once you do that right there, it ain't nothing that you're going to do to make them want to go back to or revert back to the shit that they was doing prior. Because now they're awake, they're aware, they're consciously aware, they're subconsciously aware as well that yo, this shit right here is not for me. And you know what? I don't even feel like being around y'all niggas. So I'm going to go ahead and push out. I ain't got no ill feelings. I still love y'all niggas. But this right here, this shit right here, this not me. You know what I mean? If I want to get some things outside this area and not be in this environment, yo, we can do that. But if I got to come in and chill with a drink, I'm good, baby. I guess I'll never be saying
absolutely. And that's what no question, man. And that's what this show is all about, man. We all about uplifting. We all about reaching out to that one person. Even if we can get that one person to be like, yo, man, I was listening to the show and what y'all was saying is real. Yo, I'm that dude. You know what I mean? Yo, how can I, you know what I mean, take it to those levels that y'all talking about? How can I be introduced to those things? It's very worth it to have this conversation. You know what I mean? And I'll be the first to tell you, shorty, if that's you, you know, young man, young lady, you can do it. You could do it, but it's gonna take some discipline. And that's the whole deal, man. It's all about discipline. It's all about, you know, it's like a filter. You know what I mean? A filter is there to grab all the impurities, all the toxins, all the bullshit so that it don't go into you. It's the same concept. You're gonna have to filter yourself out. You're gonna have to go cold turkey. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to stop smoking the trees probably. You're gonna have to give up the hanging out and all that type of shit. You're gonna have to do all those things.
You have to give up all that.
You're gonna have to give it all up. If you truly
serious about change,
right,
it requires 360. So
and I think
it requires opposite of everything that you're doing.
Right, and I think the thing is too, to be very clear, you know, it's not about nobody else. You know what I mean? It ain't about making homie feel good or making homegirl feel good, my bitch feel good. It ain't about none of that. It's about you saying, yo, I care about myself. And if you really care about yourself, you ain't gonna worry about what everybody else gotta do, because everybody gotta do something for themselves too. You know what I mean? If they ain't doing it already. So you gotta get to that realization where you care about you, about yourself, give a fuck about self to move forward.
Law, for sure, because the first law of life is self-preservation.
Absolutely.
You can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else.
Absolutely.
Now, I just want to throw this on the back end for the brothers out there that still feel that they, you know what I mean, that still feel that they're not ready to make this change. I'm going to just give y'all too. Now, again, this is my disclaimer. I don't condone the selling or distribution or the usage of any illegal drug paraphernalia.
Right.
But if you must do it, I'm going to just drop you a jewel that an old head gave to me. Shout out to my old head nut out of Pennsylvania. Shout out to North Philly.
No doubt.
Let me say this. He told me, young buck, if you must do this, don't make this your primary source of income. Because when you make this your primary source of income, when shit get thick, you're going to do anything to get that dollar. That means you're going to start chasing the dollar instead of allowing the dollar to come to you. When you start chasing the dollar, you get reckless and you start to take any dollar. Any dollar is never good because you don't know who dollar you're taking. So, when he broke it down to me, listen, man, you got the skills to hustle, fine, do your thing. By all means, I'm not for man trying to get money, but find a job. Find a job and let your hustling be a side thing, because you already know how to do it.
I mean, you know, again,
I don't condone.
Yeah, and I hear that. I'll say this, and you know what I mean? Fuck that. Find something better, period, Roddy V.
Nah, for sure.
Period.
For sure. No, and
Do
I
it,
totally agree
do
with
it the slow way. You know what I mean? And I give a Jew from 50 Cent. He said slow dough is better than no dough, and that's coming from a negative standpoint. So the idea of that is slow dough, meaning I'm getting a little bit of dough. But guess what? If you agree with that, then what I'm saying is sow your seed. Get you a regular job. Do that. Sow your seeds in your dream. Sow your seed in the shit that's going to grow into something fruitful. You know what I mean? Use that regular job and put it towards building your dream, something that you're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? And trust me, there's a lot of help out there. There's a lot of brothers out there who've been in the position that you in starting out that will help you along the way, that will mentor you, that will put you in a position to get where you need to be. You just got to open your mouth, and you got to be willing, not afraid.
A closed mouth don't get fed.
Right, not afraid. Be willing to just mix and mingle in better circles of people who can help you get. Because trust me, a lot of people love helping people. People look at you and be like, "Word, shorty, yo, man, let me help this little youngster out, man. He remind me of myself." You'd be surprised how many people out there, and there's a very shortage of young fellas out there, particularly black young fellas out there that's actually stepping to the plate like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, coming to a man and saying, "Listen, sir, I see, you doing what you're doing. I've been out here in these streets or whatever the case may be. Can you help me? Can you help me make a man out of my life, make a better me out of my life? I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and now I'm trying to get on the straight and narrow. I'm working this job, and I just want to, put what I have, and I know it's gonna take. It ain't like what it was before, but I know it's gonna take some time for me to grow and get to that level. But I need that certain mentorship or that help or that support to keep me in a straight line to get to that level. And I think that's what we need to be feeding the youngsters out there. That's the type of message we need to give them. So I'm not going to say nothing against what Homeboy's saying, you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be. But what I'm going to say personally is we need to get to the young shorties out there, male, female, and let them know that, there are people out here who understand they grind, who understand the mindset, who know it, who been there even way beyond their imagination that they can even think of. So you can look at them like, "Come on, shorty, you ain't doing nothing anyway." You know what I mean? "Come on, girl, you ain't doing nothing anyway." You know what I mean? So you need to come over here and get your shit right, step to the plate. All this shit that you fear ain't really that scary. You just need to, like Steve Harvey said, you need to jump off the cliff. You know what I mean? Your back gonna get scratched up and shit like that, but you ain't gonna fly right away. But you need to jump off the cliff, you know what I mean, and step to your business so you can be, at least if you start, you'll be closer to your goal. And that's pretty much all it is, right? If you got something to say closing out on that.
Well, I mean, you pretty much touched it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You touched on. You touched on for the most part of it, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Well, I say this. In order to move forward, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's scary. It's the first step is the scariest.
Right,
but
absolutely.
You got you know what I mean? You got to starve your fears and feed your faith, man.
Word up. Word. You know what I mean? And you got to jump, because, come on. Jump off the mountain, baby. Jump off the cliff. Again, it's slow. You know what I mean? A lot of cats out there respect 50 Cent. They looking at him like, he was from the streets. He a hustler. He did all this shit. Yeah, no doubt. So if you respect that, one of his main lines was, slow dough is better than no dough. And what I take that as, the meaning to me is, listen, slow is better. Move slow, take your time. You know what I mean? Get something that's stable, and utilize that legal bread or that job and build your and build. If you can't save or whatever, so be it. But at least what you'll do is you'll be getting skills. Because a lot of brothers out there ain't never worked no job, right? They in the position, they don't even know how to write a resume. They don't even know how to get dressed for a job interview. They so ignorant to the fact. You dig what I'm saying? So if you find yourself in that position, when you do step to the plate, don't look at it as, it's slow. Nah, look at it as like, I gotta grow. That's it. Because a tree, when you sow a seed in the dirt, it's slow, but it's gonna grow. And when it grow, you're gonna be that much greater. You're gonna be that much green. You're gonna be that much stronger. You're gonna bear fruit. You know what I mean? And the fruit is going to be the good life. You know, nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Trust me. Even cats that's doing big things that you respect and you look at, they have their challenges too. You know what I mean? But if you want to take this walk on that side of things, you know, you're going to have to get used to the slow. Ain't nothing wrong with the slow, because the slow is going to teach you. It's going to nourish you. It's going to treat you. It's going to grow you. And when you and all you're doing is learning. So you just going to keep going to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, to where you get it. But like, you know, like Roddy V said, you're going to have to start that process. You know what I mean? And yo, in closing, man, and that's the whole thing, man. Y'all check us out, man. This is the Sean G Podcast Show, man. Drop a comment. Let us know what y'all think about the discussion and all that good stuff. And we do this every Monday, man. Every Monday, 7 p.m. Y'all tune in. It's a good thing. Again, if you're on SoundCloud, check us out on SoundCloud. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on YouTube. If you're trying to listen to the show and you want to browse while doing everything, texting your homie, you know what I mean? Looking on the internet, doing everything, the best place to do that is on SoundCloud, because SoundCloud allow you to browse while you listening. So, you know what I mean? If you like Facebook and you just want to listen to the whole show, it taught you something, you in love, go ahead and hit us up. Like the page, drop a comment, and, you know, if you want to see the video version, of course, we had it up on the YouTube. All right? So it is what it is, man. But, yo, we going to ride the show out with this next track right here by this girl named Honey. I got this track today, Rod. This shit is fire, man. You know what I mean? This girl named Honey, man, she had an MO. But we going to run that right there, man, and ride out. You know what I mean? Y'all check us out, the Sean G Podcast Show, y'all.
It's the one and only TUG. Dang. Let's go.
Boy, stop pretending you're fly. Lost in your DKNY. In your big wheel sitting high. Chilling on the passenger side. You're not impressing me much. Thinking I'm gonna let you cut. Oh, baby, you never get what's between my eyes. I need you to sex me. Baby, think again, 'cause I ain't never gonna give it to you. Yeah, you can't blame me. Step away from me, because I'm never gonna give it to you. You think you wanna work this, kidding me? You must be silly, baby boy. You better take a pause. Never gonna let you have it. Oh no, silly baby, you ain't ever getting in my jaw. Baby, you ain't even my type. Keep trying to floss all your eyes. Front when you get with your boys, thinking I'm gonna be all the toys. Your feelings, but you ain't never getting in. Oh baby, you never get what's between my thighs. So boy, don't even try. Boy, I got it, but I'll never give it to you. Please stop trying, I'm not buying. You not getting nothing. Don't sex me, baby, think again, 'cause I'm never gonna give it to you. Baby, you can't blame me. Step away from me, because I'm never gonna give it to you. This kitty, man, you must be silly, baby boy, you better take a pause. Never gonna let you have it. Oh no, silly baby, you ain't ever getting in my jaw. Ladies, tell them roll on out. Oh, now ain't giving nothing out. That's right. Ladies, tell them roll on out. Oh, now ain't giving nothing out. The fire stain with a hair and nails did. Stay in ice creams like snotty nosed kids. Fast cars and chains, that's the biz. That's the game, hands down, I know I'm a whiz. A sassy thing and yeah, I talk real loud. I stay above y'all chicks all day like the clouds. Sorry dude, don't mean to crush your ego, but you got your cape on, acting like a hero. You keep sweating me and asking for my number, thinking I'ma be a little fling for the summer. So don't get mad causing all that commotion, but you gotta do a little more for me to slow motion. What you want, boy, I got it, but I'll never give it to you. Please stop trying, I'm not buying. You ain't getting nothing. Don't sex me, baby, think again, 'cause I ain't never gonna give it to you. You can't blame me, step away from me, because I'm never gonna give it to you. You think you gonna work this, kitty, but you must be silly, baby boy, you better take a pause. Never gonna let you have it. Oh no, silly baby, you ain't ever getting near my jaw.
Dang.
go.
Y'all ready for the uncut, the unfiltered, the raw? Put your headphones on and get ready for the Sean G Podcast Show.